to the top of the hour as we count you down to tip off between Liberty and NC State. Look, the guys are excited about it too, Andrea. I got to step out and go to women's hoops. You guys are going to hold down the fort. Talk a little bit about what's coming up next and what is coming up next for you with a special article that is coming out tomorrow. It's coming up on the other side of the break.
Coming up next on ACC Network, men's basketball, Liberty at NC State. Here's Eric Rothman and Randolph Childress in the arena with more to get us started.
We got a beautiful night outside the Lenovo Center here in Raleigh. Liberty at 6-2, the Conference USA opponent in town to take on NC State at 6-3. Tip-off 7 Eastern right here on ACC Network. That is Randolph Childress. I'm Eric Rothman. Happy to be here with you. And RC, we talked to Will Wade, NC State head coach, earlier today. Maybe a little buyer's remorse in terms of scheduling this game because Liberty is a darn good basketball team. We're in for a good one here tonight.
We are. This is if you like offense, you're going to love this game today. The question is, who steps up on the defensive end of the floor? NC State, once they were ranked in the top 25, have dropped 3 of their last 5 games. They're struggling on the defensive end of the floor. They've got to get their stars going if they want to turn things around.
Yeah, you talk about stars. The ACC preseason player of the year, Darian Williams, has been in a little bit of a slump as of late.
And I think some of it is just his lack of aggressiveness. His numbers aren't bad over the last 5 games. He's not getting the attempts. I think you're going to see him be aggressive from the start. They're going to force feed him to get him going. And then his teammates got to pick it up on the defensive end of the floor.
Offensively, one teammate who has picked it up the past few games has been Quadir Copeland. Been really good.
He is. You got Batman's been sluggish. Robin has picked it up for him. Quadir Copeland, he's the mouth of the South right now. He talks a lot. He's been backing it up. A really good two-way player, averaging 21 and 6, as you can see there. He's got to continue his winning plays and winning ways to help start off this really talented Liberty team.
Yeah, you talk about Liberty's offense. One of the best offenses in the country. You see their national ranks right there, and you see the smiling face of sophomore Brett Decker Jr.
A lot to smile about when you're shooting it like that. I mean, averaging over 4 made three-point shots per game. There's a lot of shooting and a lot I like about this team. They don't really get games. This is a game Will Wade shaking his head about, and there's a reason for it. This is a really talented group with the shooting as good as any team in college basketball. One of the better and more underrated coaches in college basketball.
Liberty in town looking for their first win against an ACC opponent since 2017. NC State looking for a nice non-conference win to add to the resume. Kelsey, we're ready to go. Tip-off coming up at 7 Eastern.
It's V-Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
No better place to be during V-Week than on the campus of NC State. The Jim Valvano statue outside of Reynolds Coliseum as the Wolfpack, the program coach Jimmy V helped build, ready to take on a very tough, high-caliber offensive Liberty team at 6-2 out of the Conference USA here at the Lenovo Center. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Randolph Childress, I'm Eric Rothman. And RC, you look at this NC State team, their coach Will Wade, some pointed words this week about their toughness, lack of physicality. They're going to need to turn it on against a very good Liberty team if they don't want to get a win.
They have to. They have to come out with a sense of urgency here tonight. This is a really good Liberty team. And for them, it starts with their ACC preseason player of the year, an All-American in Darian Williams. He has to get going here. This team comes in low, losing 3 of their last 5 games, and it's been a disappearing act. And not because his statistical numbers are bad from a percentage standpoint, is that he just hasn't been involved in it. You know, shooting threes, it's just not getting the ball, getting enough touches. He has to get going here early, but on the other side again, one of the more underrated players in college basketball, Zach Cleveland, averaging nearly a triple-double. And he's 3rd in the country at 8 assists a game. He's a really difficult player, and he's surrounded with a lot of shooting.
Head coach Richie McKay calling Cleveland a unicorn, one of the most under-heralded players in the nation. So we got the Wolfpack in the white uniforms. They're 6-3, 5-0 here at home, but they had those losses against Auburn, Texas, Seton Hall, and Coach Will Wade, his first year, said, hey, I was hoping that this was going to self-correct, and it didn't. I got to step in, made some changes in the lineup. In their last game, it was a win against UNC Asheville, and Quadir Copeland even though they haven't been getting the wins, Copeland, who gets the basket there, he's been the guy on offense with, as you talked about, Williams kind of slumped in the past few games.
Well, guys have stepped up on the offensive end of the floor. That's not the problem. This possession here has been their problem. It's been fouls. And it's been foul troubles there, even with Darian Williams. There's no reason to foul right here, and this has been the problem. The scoring is not the issue with NC State. 89 points a game. But the defensive end of the floor, they have trouble containing the dribble. They've been challenged. Let's see if the leadership steps up for NC State from defensive end of the floor.
Paul McNeil back into the starting lineup after being taken out last game. It's the only game he didn't start this year, as Cleveland misses with the left hand. Darian Williams picked up his first foul, about 35 feet away from the basket. Three-pointer not there. Cleveland storming in for the defensive rebound. He's number 7 in the nation in that statistical category. And Colin Porter is back in the lineup after missing a game with an injury. So the guard from Ashland, Kentucky, who averages 11 points per game, is starting for Coach McKay as Liberty turns the ball over.
That's what you want to see at the NC State. You want to create turnovers. And for a team that likes to switch, Liberty puts a lot of pressure on your defense because all 5 guys on the floor, double-figure scores, shoots it well. It's another foul here.
This time on the offensive end for NC State. So back-to-back turnovers between the two teams. Sloppy opening minute in 10 seconds as Paul McNeil Jr. picks up the personal.
You're going to see NC State try to press as much as possible. They know they're going to have trouble defending Liberty in the half court. So if you can slow them down on this end, on the defensive end of the floor, and limit the amount of time that you have to defend them in the half court, gives you a chance.
A couple missed layups early for Liberty as you see the pace that both of these teams want to play up and down the floor. Williams calling for it. Coach Wade said we are going to force feed him the basketball, and you see right there the low post move. That's one of the reasons why he was the ACC preseason player of the year.
There's no one on the Liberty roster that can guard him one-on-one. I mean, he's going to go inside until you put a bigger defender on him, and then he'll go outside. That's the versatility in Williams and why he's such a gifted player. Now you see the intention of NC State. There's no more free-flowing offense. They're going inside, and they're going to their preseason ACC Player of the Year.
Cleveland, well, touch shot, came up short. Williams, who transferred over from Texas Tech a couple of years with that program, lost nearly 30 pounds in between last season and this season. Looks really thin, athletic. Looks to be in really good shape. Then Alan Lubin, another low-post presence, the senior forward out of Orlando, Florida.
We talk about NC State and perimeter shooting. They're attacking the paint right now. They are intentional in attacking the rim. They know there's no rim protection for Liberty.
Win against UNC Asheville. NC State outscored UNC Asheville in the paint 40-14.
And you're looking at another foul here off the bounce. This is the issue with the switching that goes on with NC State. I think that's something they're going to deal with all year long. I don't think Ben Allen-Lubin or even Williams can defend these guards on the switches.
Three-pointer good by Brett Decker Jr., arguably the best three-point shooter in the country. He's number 1 in makes per game and 2nd in percentage.
Nah, I don't think it's much of an argument at this point. It isn't as of December the 10th.
59% from 3 on the year, and that is a turnover. No, we're going to say staying with Liberty. So, you know, one thing we saw, okay, you give up the three-pointer. Coach Wade said we don't want to do that, especially with Decker. The other is already 3 fouls on NC State. They record more fouls than almost anybody in the country per game.
And it's going to force them to dig deep in their bench.
Williams with the left, got his own rebound, swarmed by red jerseys and a held ball. Liberty will get possession.
In the court, they want to extend their pressure and get Liberty to start their offense maybe between 16 and 18. That's what you're going to see. Not as much trapping. They'll have to sprinkle in the trap just to keep them honest. They want to keep everything in front, slow it down. They don't want Liberty starting their offense as early as in the 20s.
Coach Wade telling us we can't defend for 25, 30 seconds. We in the half court. We need 15 to 18 seconds.
Because 25 feet in it, you got to guard those shots. And those are difficult shots.
That's a step-back 3 by Caden Matheny.
And that's Liberty basketball. There's difficult shots for other people. This is a really good shot-making team. And When all 5 guys are capable of stretching the defense and attacking you off the bounce, it makes it really difficult.
Yeah, Liberty top 5 in the country in three-point shooting. Matheny now 1 point away from 1,000 for his career. Here's Quadir Copeland, who came over with Coach Wade from McNeese. Lost it. Williams has it. Pushes off his help. The turnaround mid-range, just not there.
It's good defensive effort. Anytime you get Williams to shoot a fadeaway, but
we're tied up at 6-4 minutes into this game. Matheny feeling it. This Liberty team will fire at will.
Yeah, there's picking on Gennady Lubin in the switches, and they're going to attack him.
Good hustle play by J.J. Harper. Could not save it from going out of bounds. The NC State basketball when we come back from our first timeout.
We talked about the shooting of Liberty, and again, it's not a surprise. They start first basket of the game. Decker from 3, as good as anybody in college basketball from behind the three-point line. Matheny says, hey, take this ball game here in Raleigh, folks.
Liberty, one of the more underrated programs in the country under head coach Richie McKay. They won 28 games a year ago, had a Conference USA title, went to the NCAA tournament, returned 8 players from last year's team, and they're shooting 55% from the floor, picked to win Conference USA yet again.
They got 3 all-conference guys, and you said 8 players returning. I don't know another team in college basketball that has 8 players returning, and Coach Richie McKay, to be able to have some type of retention is just amazing to who he is and the type of coach that he is.
20 or more wins in 9 of the last 12 years, as you see Trey Holloman for NC State. They're getting in the paint. That's where Coach Wade wants to see their toughness. They want to get touches in the paint early and often.
But he wants to see his toughness here on this end of the floor. And right now, Liberty is just missing shots. It's not the defense that's making them miss. That's a wide open opportunity there. This is where he wants to see his toughness. He sees it on the offensive end, but he wants to see it on the offensive glass and also on the defensive end of the floor.
Offensive rebound. Quadir Copeland showing that toughness. Lowers the shoulder, works his way inside, and he'll go to the free throw line as Colin Porter hacked him.
Oh, I asked Coach McKay, are you going to do anything different? Because he has smaller guards, and Quadir Copeland at 6'6" is the point guard. There's a distinct size advantage, and he says, no, we're going to do what we do. If you know anything about Tony Bennett, that's just that Virginia style. We're not changing who we are and what we do. They're not doubling the post yet. They're going to let their players play one-on-one and be physical.
That pack line defense. Coach McKay was the head coach at Liberty. Then he left to be the associate head coach at Virginia under Tony Bennett for 6 years. Returns. This is now his second stint, and really talked about not only Tony Bennett learning from him. He said, I got a master's degree in the pack line defense, but he said, Tony's younger than me, but I have not had a more influential mentor in my career.
Yeah, he said he learned so much. He said he was hesitant to go back, but Dick Bennett, he knew his dad really well. Tony Bennett's dad was instrumental in getting him to head to Charlottesville.
Great recovery. Darian Williams got beat on the backdoor cut, recovered. Maybe that's some of that athleticism. You lose the weight, you're a little quicker on the step.
Yeah, it's a great recovery here. You tried to overplay, and you were the first one to notice that.
I saw him last year when he was at Texas Tech, and I didn't even notice him on the floor today because he looks so different, at least from what I remember seeing him a year ago. NC State gets the turnover. Copeland pushing. Here's Holloman for 3.
NC State is electric when they do that. When they can create turnovers and get out and just let their offense be free-flowing, this is when they're really dangerous. They look like a top 25 team in the country.
We talked about Liberty's three-point shooting prowess. NC State first in the ACC at 40% from three-point range this year, as Holloman now has 5 points.
The help is going to come baseline.
That's a dangerous pass coming right at
I was ready.
me.
I had my hands ready. I don't know.
I think you were looking for me to save it.
I had my hands in the shooting pocket. It was going up. If I got it. Transition here, taking it. Turnover, creating fast break points there. NC State does that as well as anyone in the country. They're off to a really good start here. They've been fortunate enough that Liberty has missed some open looks, but the aggressiveness and the
5 on the shot clock. Here's Matheny. Porter in the corner. He's got to get rid of it. This 3, offensive rebound inside. Copeland stripped it, went out of bounds. Last touched by Liberty as Josh Smith pulled down the board, but it went off of his knee out of bounds.
Great job by Copeland. He got pushed underneath the basket and then quick hands created the turnover there.
You were either going to catch and shoot that, or you were going to lap and the guys behind him.
Oh, either one. No, I was going to shoot it. Now, I don't know if I would have made it, but it was going up.
Offensive foul, second offensive foul against NC State. Quadir Copeland not happy about it, his first personal. Here we go. See, we are surrounded here.
Yeah,
the NC State
they're
fans.
close. They're close.
So, you know, if you missed the shot, you got some supporting cast behind us in case we need some help. Beautiful arena, the Lenovo Center, also the home of the Carolina Hurricanes. You can feel the ice rink underneath our feet. 6-0 run for NC State. That's Xander Carter in the corner. And Abel pulls down the defensive rebound, the freshman from Baltimore. He got that black eye, caught an elbow in practice earlier this week. Copeland to the rack. The circus shot for Quadir Copeland.
I don't know where NC State would be without Quadir Copeland. I mean, just the transition to point guard for him has just been seamless. We talked about him averaging 21 and 6 the last 5 so games, and he's just picking up where he's left off. And just both ends of the floor.
Really has not been a scorer throughout most of his career. Started a couple of years at Syracuse, who's kind of a defensive specialist. Then he went to play for Coach Wade at McNeese. He averaged 10 points per game last year, but he has been a revelation offensively here this year for the Wolfpack.
Shooting 60 from the field and 56 behind the three-point line. And no one saw that. But he's playing with so much confidence, and no one has more confidence in their ability than Quadir Copeland.
He's got 6 points. He's the only player on the floor right now for NC State who's got a bucket as Coach Wade goes with some fresh legs. Whistle before the turnover, one of those fresh legs. That is Allen Breed.
You like what you see. They're at least being physical. NC State knows that with their style of play, they're going to foul. But they're being physical. They're showing a level of toughness. And you want to know what practice has been like. All you have to do is look at Matt Abel's eye. And that tells you he's got a black eye right there guarding the basketball. And
Liberty needs to get Brett Decker Jr. going in. The 3 early has not had a field goal attempt since. 8 on the shot clock, and Coach Wade wants a turnover. He can challenge it if he wants.
He's looking at his bench. He doesn't want to have to use it.
7 on the shot clock. Maybe that plays into the decision. Cleveland inbound, lob inside, nearly turned over. 5 to shoot. Decker to his left, tripped up, went back to his right, and a shot clock violation.
Another good defensive possession here for NC State. You look at Matt Abel there, as we talked about it. That tells you the type of practice and the type of week it's been for NC State.
He's a heralded recruit, number 24 on the ESPN 100 out of Sagemont Prep, averaging 9 and 3 this year.
Will Wade's been asking for a player-led program. He knows, for this team to reach its potential, players have got to step up.
Here's Breed straight away. Offensive rebound up top by Moussa Sanye. His fresh legs paying dividends for the Wolfpack, and it leads to a second chance 3. Terrence Arsenault.
Arsenault knocked down his second 3 of the year again. He knows he's in the game to be aggressive on the defensive end of the floor, and that time showing he can do more than just guard the basketball.
12-0 run, and the 3's just not falling for one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Is Liberty 2 for 7 now from deep. Copeland, step back, looking for more. Cleveland rips down the rebound. He averages 9 of those per game. You mentioned 10, 9, and 8, nearly a triple-double for Cleveland, and that's a transition 3. Colin Porter, who missed last game in the win against Coppin State due to an injury, and that one was way out there.
That's why they're never out of a game, because of their range. You got to guard these guys from 30. Right now, NC State's doing a great job being physical. They've been challenged, and so far they're answering the challenge. But this game's a long way from being over.
Breed spinning, lost it, bobbled it off of his head, somehow regained control and made the bucket.
It's important for these guys. Get in the paint. They're attacking the paint. They've settled so much in the past. Already 12 points here in the paint. They've lost the paint point battle during that loser streak as well. You can see they've emphasized that to start this game.
They emphasize it in the win against UNC Asheville to the tune of 40-14 in the paint. As Xander Yates missing the three-pointer. Arsenault hit the three. He only averages 3 points per game, so he's already at his season average with that one bucket. Long career at Houston for Arsenault before coming over to NC State. And one. Matt Abel, the freshman, pushed off of his line, muscled it up with the left hand.
You want to get yourself going in the game when you feel like you're struggling and you've been challenged. This is what you do. You put your head down, get to the rim and show the skill. Abel with a nice lefty lay.
A 16-3 run right now for NC State as Abel cannot finish off the three-point play. Right now, NC State shooting 60% from the floor, getting the majority of their points inside in the paint as they bring in Ryan Jones Jr. Liberty does off the bench for some interior help. Eric Rothman, Randolph Childress here with you at the Lenovo Center. There is Jones, misses badly with a turnaround. See the energy that NC State has played with here in the opening 10 minutes.
They've been challenged, and so far they've answered that challenge. They're being unselfish. They're attacking the paint.
Arsenault, who only had one three-pointer all year, has now made two in the last few minutes.
They're making Liberty uncomfortable on the defensive end of the floor. They've always scored. Scoring has not been the issue. This end of the floor has been the issue.
Turnover. Musa Sanye cut off the drive by Harper. Turnover number 5. We talked about the lack of an edge. Will Wade said earlier this week, we haven't had an edge to us even in our wins. You can only go so far with the head coach leading. It was all systems breakdown from Maui to Auburn. I tried to let it self-correct, but sometimes you got to step in. That's my job. And we talked about, how earlier today he told us maybe a little buyer's remorse about scheduling this game considering how good Liberty is. And he told us, I just thought we would be further along at this point in the season.
He did, and you see here, they came out, it was intentional, the jump ball here, coming out with trying to force Williams to get the ball inside. One, they got to force and get him inside. The other thing was, with the experience that he brought in guys with NCAA tournament experience. He thought this team would just naturally just pick it up a lot quicker than they have. They'd be a sense of urgency, they communicate better, and they have not done so. And has it been a struggle maybe to adjust to the system? I think some of it has just been everything was easy for them earlier. Everyone was scoring, they were making shots, and slowly it chipped away. And guys like Williams is not involved, and they've been intentional about that on both ends of the floor here tonight.
Becker got the block. Harper, Euro step, good finish at the contact by J.J. Harper.
It's a dangerous team. They're just not going anywhere. They're going to continue to push pace as well. They like the game in the 80s as well. NC State has a size advantage nearly at every position.
Williams straight away. Liberty shooting just 4 for 16 from the floor. You mentioned bringing in that experience. You had Williams a couple years at Texas Tech, Trey Holloman 3 years at Michigan State, Claudia Copeland, Syracuse and McNeese, Terrence Arsenault 3 years at Houston. So those guys, pedigree-wise, would give Will Wade the inclination, hey, we're going to get off to a hot start. We're not going to have to worry about things. That just hasn't been the case.
I mean, you're talking about Texas Tech, Michigan State. You're talking about two of the best programs in college basketball. Houston. And Houston. Yeah. I mean, he thought they would hit the ground running. Felt good about the summer his guys had, and started out the year really well on both ends, and it just slowly started chipping away. And have not had that problem here so far tonight.
Matheny now 1 for 4 from 3. He's a near 40% shooter on the year. And Holloman again attacking the lane. Trey Holloman's got 7 points. It's one of those guys, 3 years at Michigan State. He's averaging 11 this year for Coach Wade. 16 points in the paint compared to Liberty's 2. Liberty, a pretty undersized team. They struggle rebounding. but they shoot the outside ball well. They just have not been dropping here in the first half. 10 on the shot clock.
That's NC State. They're flying around now. Instead of watching, they are. Look how active. They're running guys off the line.
Porter with 1 on the shot clock and a great defensive possession by NC State.
That's what NC State has not been doing. It's the extra multiple possessions on the defensive end of the floor.
Holloman would move off the dribble. You could feel the vibe shift here too in the Lenovo Center. This is the product these fans were expecting to see this year with Will Wade in his first year. Zach Cleveland's been scoreless so far. Decker in the corner. That's the guy they want shooting the 3. Defensive rebound by Arsenault.
When you're switching 5 like this lineup has, and they do that when Van Lubin's at the 5, they'll switch everything. There's no need not to fly around. You're switching, you got to scramble. And they've been doing a really good job of doing that here tonight. Staying in front of the basketball.
I tell you, Holloman has been so aggressive that he'll go to the free throw line. Liberty shooting just 3 for 12 from three-point range. NC State running circles on the defensive end. Coach McKay not happy here early.
We need your help. I need your help. We need money for research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love. And it's very important.
It's V Week at ESPN when we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. If you're able to, give now at v.org/donate. 100% of donations go directly to cancer research. Valvano, the longtime coach here at NC State, brought the school a national championship. His name hangs in the rafters here at the Lenovo Center. We'll be happy with how his Wolfpack are performing here in the first half. They're on top 28-11. This game was tied 6-6, and then RC since then. NC State, not only have they figured it out offensively, obviously, but Liberty shooting just 4 of 19 from the floor.
I think that's been the most impressive thing. They got a few open looks early, but since then, everything has been difficult. And Will Wade told us, he said, hey, even for the UNC Asheville game, we didn't play well, but I didn't expect them to play well. We had nearly a 2-hour practice that morning before the game, so I knew their legs would be a little heavy. We talked about it earlier, the black eye with Matt Abel. You can tell the type of week in practice has been, but the message has been sent. These guys are flying around.
Yeah, it seems like it's been received as well. Ball movement, Porter in the corner, trying to go back to Decker. Active hands this time by Arsenault. You know, the season, Liberty averaging 55% from the floor. They're 4 of 19. They're averaging 43% from 3. They're just 3 of 12 here in this game. So obviously the message so far has worked. But, you know, also Liberty just has missed a lot of open shots as well, which hasn't helped the cause. Turnover on the Flames, and we'll stay with NC State out of bounds.
For the length bothers you. When guys are swarming around like this, they're getting some looks. They've missed those. I think they've rushed some attempts.
Yeah.
And then you see here a careless turnover. You're on your heels right now. And right now, Liberty looks like the game is just sped up for them. 6 turnovers now on Liberty. And a lot of those shots have been late in the shot clock as well. They're used to getting opportunities and being able to identify switches. NC State team, everyone sitting in the defensive stands and guarding the ball.
Then Allen Lubin took the contact, plowed right through it, and one.
They know early they're not going to get double teamed. You're seeing whoever gets it inside, turns post. That's been out of Lubin's game. Turns, faces up, drives here, turns, feels your body, spins. That's kind of how he plays the game, and he's an undersized center, more of a post driver.
Number 1 in the ACC in field goal percentage, shooting 67% from the floor. Williams in the corner after the offensive rebound. And Lubin coming off a 23-point performance in the win against UNC Asheville. 19 of those coming in the second half of that win. Porter spots up. 3 for 13 from 3 now for Liberty. Dangerous pass. Lubin caught it. And might have gotten bailed out. I don't know if he had an opportunity to shoot that. Was pushed from behind.
Really impressive possession area by Ben out of Lubin here. Staying in front of Porter here off the dribble and forcing him to take a difficult three-point shot. Runs down, and that's what happens when you're switching that way. It works the other way. When your big has to defend that guard, he takes a shot. He sprints down. He has an advantage. Great job catching that shot, catching the ball, keeping it high, drawing a foul.
Spent time at Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, North Carolina, and now NC State, his fourth school. Tune in tomorrow night to catch Kyan Anthony, son of Carmelo, leads Syracuse against St. Joe's. That's at 9 Eastern right here on ACC Network. It'll also be on the ESPN app. Colin Porter picked up his second foul.
It's a big win by your Orange.
Needed it.
Tennessee.
Orange on orange crime. We'll win against the Volunteers. And that program, Syracuse, has been on tough times. You know, I got enjoyed getting to know our colleague, Jim Boeheim. That feels weird for a kid from Syracuse who was terrified to go to a Jim Boeheim press conference. And now I'm chopping it up, talking to him in Charlotte in our preseason seminar this year. Coach Boeheim seems very happy in his retirement, and very happy and very good behind the mic as well as J.J. Harper lays it in.
Good job attacking the pressure there.
Just a big deficit right now for Liberty.
You got to continue to just chip away. Your Liberty running your offense, but NC State right now, less dribbling, more ball moving, and just keep physically overwhelming Liberty.
It's just every time they attack the paint, they're drawing contact, they're drawing the whistles. It's an undersized Liberty team, and you know, you talk about styles making fights, you know, that boxing analogy. Well, we thought going into it, okay, two teams that like to push up the floor, two teams that like to shoot the three. NC State's going, I'm not shooting the three tonight. We're pounding it inside. If the threes come, great, but we're gonna use our force, our brute strength down low.
That's the challenge. That's the, when you talk about toughness. This isn't just a mental thing. It's the, hey, you're not going to settle and shoot jump shots. You know, we're scoring. That's not the problem. You're going to be physical in how we attack you on both ends of the floor. And starting with paint touches, drawing fouls, doing things that teams were doing to them.
Will Wade, first year here with the Wolfpack, has had success everywhere he's been. His teams have gone to the NCAA tournament 7 times in his young career. A couple times at VCU, LSU, McNeese. Trying to get the Wolfpack back. They went to the Final Four in 2024. A tough year last year, just 12 and 19 overall. Turnover. Getting swarmed inside. Turnover number 7 on Liberty. Williams he wants the ball, RC. You can see him really working to post up, show the body, give you the ball.
Yeah, I'd like to see him turn and just take a more middle spin baseline, not try to just totally overpower and shoot a fadeaway. Doesn't always need to do that here. He had Decker on him and just didn't need to fade away. I thought he could have put him in the basket.
Then he got called for the foul, did Williams. That's his second personal. 20-point lead for NC State. Largest lead of the game. Roth, Randolph Childress with you here. NC State snapped a 2-game losing streak in their last win against UNC Asheville. And Liberty did the same in their win against Coppin State. Foul this time on the Wolfpack. So Decker will go to the line. Paul McNeil Jr. picks up his second. And it'll be a 1-and-1.
McNeil there, NC State defensively does things that some other teams don't usually do. They'll help strong side in the corner. They want you in the gap. Most teams play as though they don't want you to help off the strong side corner. McNeil a little late there, tried to get off and cut the basketball off, picking up a foul, but they're flying all over the place right now. We're not the only ones that knows Liberty's a really good basketball team. This is just NC State playing to their potential.
Yeah. The reason why they were in the top 25 earlier this year, and you're seeing those hopes of Will Wade, the coaching staff, and these fans here in Raleigh. Claudia Copeland comes in for Paul McNeil Jr. Immediately attacks Decker, goes off the glass.
Just too big. A distinct size advantage there by Claudia Copeland, and he's playing as well as anyone.
8 points now. Under 4 minutes to go here in the opening half. It's been all NC State. It was tied 6-6, and then the Wolfpack went on a sprint. Another missed layup for Liberty. Matheny underneath. Matheny has had a tough first half. 1 of 4 from the floor for the grad, who's averaging 14 on the year. Liberty needs some breaks to go their way on the offensive end. They trail by 22. The losses this year for NC State, their defense, RC, has just been miserable. You see the field goal percentage there by the 3 teams that beat them. Texas and Auburn shot over 50% from 3. In fact, in their last 4 games, every single one of their opponents has made at least 12 3-pointers. And it's been a completely different story here tonight against Liberty. Liberty just shooting 23% from the floor and 3 of 13 from 3-point range. Yeah, that defensively, you can see their activity. They've been getting deflections, and that's how you can judge a Will Wade coach team. Are they getting deflections? They'll create turnovers, but they're getting deflections. They're flying all over the place. They're communicating on their switches. They're not just talking. They're talking, touching. You can see there, Claudia Copeland pushes Arsenal to make the switch. Good baseline cut. J.J. Harper makes it a 20-point game. You saw the turnover number there at the bottom of your screen, 7-3. In favor of NC State as well. That speaks to those deflections, those active hands. Copeland, this has been a familiar story. Him backing down Decker. He got some help this time by Harper, who tries to save it with the diving effort. Good hustle play by J.J. Harper, but it will stay with the Wolfpack. Yeah, they're throwing at his free throw line. A little pinch post action playing off of that. Picking their matchups. Claudia Copeland has the distinct size advantage now. They're trying to get a bigger defender. There's Xander Carter on him. We need to get Claudia Copeland mic'd up for one of these games. Are we still a Disney program, man? Are we? I don't know if that's a children's program you want to have with Claudia Copeland mic'd up. Like ACC After Dark or something like that. Pay-per-view to listen to Claudia Copeland. You don't want to. He is a human bullhorn. Alan Breed got the bucket. Zach Cleveland, star for Liberty, got the basketball, still without a point in this game. The chance now is he'll go to the free throw line. Good thing for Liberty right now, they won't face a team like this in Conference USA. I mean, NC State has played a really good first half here so far on both ends of the floor. Zach Cleveland nearly averaging a triple-double on the season. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. That's good for 3rd in D1 in the assist category. But coach telling us he's a unicorn. The one piece of his game that has not come around is the free throw shooting. He's just a 40% free throw shooter. He says he makes every free throw in practice, and then he gets into the game, and it's a little bit of the case of the yips. Yeah, his free throw shooting is like my putting. I get over top of it, and I make them in practice, and then I get on the course, and that's what we call too many swing thoughts. Trey Holloman, count it. He'll go to the free throw line. Holloman has been aggressive every single time he's touched the ball. He's got 10. This is what you do when you know there's no shot blocking there. Put your head down, get in the paint. Someone rotates, you pass it. If not, you lay it up. And Trey Holloman's been incredible. And how efficient he's been all year long. You saw how he angled his body, too, to draw that contact. Josh Smith called for the 2nd foul. Holloman, 3 years at Michigan State, the former high school player of the year out of Minnesota. And talking to Will Wade, you know, it seemed like not only was he looking for somebody to step up from a tenacity standpoint, but also in the guard position specifically, because Claudia Copeland, that's not necessarily his game. Maybe it's Trey Holloman. Maybe that's the guy who's going to step up. They don't have your typical point guard. Yeah. And I think if you would ask Will Wade now, with the struggles that he's gone through the last 5 games, you know, when he went out and got your typical point guard to kind of settle down, the leadership qualities that he's looking for in that position. J.J. Harper slips inside. Great job now. Liberty's making the adjustments. They're starting to take advantage of NC State's pressure and getting effective with back doors. Liberty averages 84 points per game, just 17 here in the first half on the road. Copeland backing his way in. It's got a mismatch against any guard that Liberty will throw at him. This time it was Porter, but Copeland just couldn't convert.
Yeah, he's just getting in the middle of the floor, calling for the ball screen, and using his size to spin around and get to the basket.
A minute and a half to go. It's been all NC State here at home.
Every time someone touches it, there's help. They're just flying around. This is just really good defense.
Feeney came up short, had Holloman's hand in his face. Liberty 3 for 14 from long distance. Copeland got the switch on the Porter that he wanted. Now Abel, the left hand flush.
That's what you're able to do when you can shoot the basketball like that. Get the drive closeouts.
Good moves. Xander Carter. Hesitation midair for his first bucket.
Liberty's played well the last few possessions, and NC State, they just can't get a stop.
A freshman. They knew he was going to contribute in his first year. A heralded top 25 recruit. It's been a little slow to get started, but not here tonight. 7 points for the freshman from Baltimore, Matt Abel.
Someone has to pay for that black eye now. He's letting you know. I had to deal with this physicality in practice. I got to take it out on someone.
Half-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Feeney just getting pushed around by Lubin. Blocked. Quadir Copeland got a paw on it. What a great first half for NC State. Will Wade is fired up.
Great half here by NC State. I think it's the best 20 minutes they've played all year long.
No doubt about it. NC State shoots 57% from the floor and holds a hot shooting Liberty team to just 19 points in the opening half. 45-19, our score at the break. And coming up after the break, Taylor Tannenbaum, Joel Berry, and Luke Hancock will be in the studio discussing the standout freshmen across the ACC this student season. Stay tuned. You're watching the ACC Network. Could not have asked for a better first half. They lead Liberty 45-19 after shooting 57% from the floor. Trey Holloman leads the way with 11. Second half action from Raleigh when we return on the ACC Network. I can't say that either myself or Randolph Childress expected this score at half. 45-19, NC State on top here at home. The potential of the Wolfpack coming to fruition here on home court at Lenovo Center. That's RC. I'm Eric Rothman. And, you know, considering the opponent, Liberty's a good team. Might be the best half of basketball that NC State's played this year.
Without question. The message has been received. This is a really good Liberty team. NC State's just making them look bad. They're active. They're not just making shots. They've done that all year. Defensively has been the issue. They're guarding the basketball. Everyone, they're active. They're getting deflections. There's rim protection. They're doing everything on the defensive end of the floor, and it's why they've just had their best half of basketball all year long.
Offensively, on the other side of things, NC State's just been pushing around Liberty in the paint.
They have. They set the tone early, and it started with the ACC preseason player of the year, Williams, getting in that early look, and everyone's getting in on the act, and they've shared the basketball offensively, but you can see a concerted effort to attack the paint, own the paint, play with the level of physicality, get downhill, allowing them when they score to set their pressure. And this has been a great half of basketball.
26-10 points in the paint in favor of NC State. You see the Wolfpack shooting nearly 60% from the floor. Fewest points that Liberty has had in any half this season. Trey Holloman leading the way for NC State with 11 points. But you've also got another great performance by Quadir Copeland. He's got 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists in that first half.
He's playing really well. So much confidence. He's always been a confident player, and then Trey Holloman as well. I mean, just so efficient on the offensive end. Both of these guys, you look at their splits, it's been amazing.
Liberty start with the basketball. Their star, Zach Cleveland, 0 points in that first half. Shooting just 3 of 14 from three-point range for a team that averages 43% from distance on the year. Copeland with a steal.
And that's why. Just the activity on the defensive end of the floor for State it just overwhelmed Liberty.
McNeil Jr. starts the second half off with a triple, his first bucket of the game.
And he's a guy that has struggled as well offensively, and great to see him going. Early part of the season, first couple of games, we thought, okay, he was going to be Robin to Williams' Batman, and was averaging 20 points a game.
Smith on the baseline, fouled underneath. And McNeil, he was, I think, drew some frustration from Coach Wade. He was not benched, but he didn't start in the UNC Asheville game. That was the first game this year that he didn't get a starting nod. Puts him back into the starting lineup here tonight. And we saw him out about 3.5 hours before the team showed up for shoot-around today, getting in work, shooting by himself, just trying to get himself back on track.
He did what a lot of young players do. You let your offense affect your defensive intensity. And when he started missing shots, the energy on the other end of the floor started to dip. And his coach has sent the message, and just like the rest of his teammates, it's been received. The talent's there, the shot-making ability's there. Just a matter of time before he figures it out.
Kirk Herbstreit apparently is here as well. Cardboard cutout in the stands there. Got a couple of Kirks as Quadir Copeland was called for his second personal foul. 28-point lead for NC State. Then Allen Lubin, pick and roll, two-hand slam.
Just so effective as a player on the move. Ball screens, catching it on the move. Really good off the bounce. Makes really good decisions there.
He's a big boy coming through the lane, too.
I get out of the way.
6'9", 250.
Getting out the way. But this is where he's been great tonight. He's staying in front of the basketball on the switches.
It's been great defense by NC State, but also just uncharacteristic how many misses from three Liberty has had. As you see the pick and roll here.
Yeah, he catches on the short roll, and Matheny's like, hey, where's the help? There's nothing I can do there.
J.J. Harper has been really good defensively for Liberty. Nearly knocked that one out. Tried to run that same play with Copeland and Lubin. It was sniffed out by the Flames. Williams comes up short. He's definitely been more active in the offense, but only 4 points on 1 of 7 shooting.
Yeah, I think the last couple of shots, he's just been fading away even there. He's big, he's physical, he's strong. Just push through, get to the rim. There's no shot blockers there. There's no reason to fade away. And it's out of rhythm a little bit, but again, he's got time to figure that out. He'll get plenty of touches. You can see they're starting to be conservative and how they attack teams and going through him. He'll get enough touches to figure that out on the offensive end of the floor.
Another missed three by Liberty, 3 for 16 now. That was after Van Allen Lubin picked up his second personal foul. NC State's got 2 fouls and a half already. A rattling three, and said, he says, Darren Williams, I'm not going to fade away. I'll just step out. Hit a nice, cool, calm, collected three-pointer.
And then he's still, he's shooting 47% behind the arc, and he's an unselfish player. He doesn't force anything. And
that was what Coach Wade was telling us. I actually want him to be more forceful, not necessarily forcing shots, but forceful in getting his shots, getting open. Gets the assist there to Paul McNeil Jr. in the corner, and it's a rout. NC State running Liberty out of the gym as the Flames take a timeout down 36. It's an 11-1 run for NC State in the opening 3 minutes of the second half. They've made 3 straight three-pointers. They are on top by 36 points here at home.
This has been a dominant half of basketball in the first half, and they've started this second half and hadn't missed a beat. Now they got the 3-ball going. What do you do if you're Liberty? Right now, you just got to play and try to clean up and get yourself ready for your next game. You guys feel clearly overmatched here by NC State. This is just a dominant performance, and that happens. Sometimes you catch a team on a night when they play to their potential, and right now you're seeing an NC State team that's challenged by their head coach, and the athleticism, the physicality, the length, the activity is just wore Liberty down.
They're ready to take the 2.5-hour bus ride to Lynchburg, back home after this game. 9 turnovers on Liberty after they kicked that one out of bounds.
Yeah, what you want to see from NC State, you want to see them just continue to keep their foot on the pedal.
Holloman lips out the 3. Williams fought for the offensive rebound. Lubin was there, said thank you very much, I'll take that. Second chance points for the Wolfpack. Alan Lubin up to 9 points now. Trap defense and a held ball. Turnover. NC State will get it back.
Will Wade's loving the activity of his group. He's fired up. This is what he wanted to see.
Well, NC State's got Kansas coming here on Saturday, and if Wolfpack fans wanted to feel good about the potential of that game, well, this is the nice appetizer for Wolfpack fans.
Great transition. When Kansas watches this film, they're going to realize this is a totally different team, but that's the intensity that Kansas plays with, and so they're going to need this type of effort.
Good feed. Williams paused midair on the fadeaway. Heard RC said, stop fading away. This time he got the dime inside to Van Allen Lubin.
And I understand why he does it. He doesn't elevate a lot on his jump shot. His physicality, he likes to use to create space with his shoulders, and sometimes it's easy just to fade away. But when there's no shot blockers, if you get past guys, you just want him to do that.
Harper, English off the glass, got the assist from Caden Nafini. Harper's got 10 to lead all Liberty scorers.
He's the one guy on the court for Liberty that doesn't look overmatched athletically. He's flying around. You can see him using his speed and attacking the basket. He's been effective here.
Offensive foul goes against NC State. 5 minutes into the second half. The Wolfpack up 60-22. ACC Network will bring you coverage of Miami's college football playoff first round matchup with Texas A&M next Saturday morning, December 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern. ACC Huddle will be in College Station with a 1-hour preview show. Then during the game, they'll have a Skycast version from just above the field with the radio voice of the Hurricanes, Joe Zagacki, on the call. And after the game, stick around for the ACC Huddle final score post-game show. A complete breakdown and reactions from coaches and players.
Congratulations to the Miami Hurricanes. One thing I love about that is just a reminder that the games early in the year matters. I think sometimes we talked about that with college basketball, and this November mattered. This early December mattered. Just a lot of great matchups, a lot of great games that we've seen early in the year. And
there's a chance, another missed layup for Liberty, that this game matters a lot to NC State. You know, if they're potentially looking to build their resume for the postseason, if Liberty goes on to win Conference USA, you point to that, you say, hey, we blew out Liberty at our home, and you know, who knows, with Kansas coming to town on Saturday, could spur NC State to live up to maybe the potential that many thought Coach Will Wade would be able to produce in year number 1.
Well, this was the get-right game. We had to get back to playing the way we're capable of playing, and the message was sent. Players answered it. But this Kansas game, you're going to find out how good you really are. So that is a really good basketball team. That's without their star freshman, potentially the #1 pick in the NBA draft. Well, maybe not so much after AJ DeMan's performance yesterday. But their point guard and Darren Peterson is as good as any guard in the country, and they're going to be tested.
And Alan Lubin now has 13 points. That came after a beautiful two-handed interception by Paul McNeil Jr. on the defensive end. AJ Harper. Liberty now 3 for 18 from three-point land. 0 for 4 here in the second half.
Now, I know you're up 40, but I still want to see you continue to play. Still a lot of time. There's 13 minutes left in the second half. You never want to feel like you're running up the score, but if you can beat him by 60, you beat him by 60. You're trying to establish your identity and some consistency in how you're playing.
Alley-oop lay-in for Darian Williams.
Look at that activity. Every time somebody dribbles it, there's an extra hand there.
Just the third three-point attempt for Brett Decker Jr. He's only made one of them, but For a guy who's averaging 20 points per game and getting most of his points from the three-point line, NC State has ran him off his mark pretty consistently. Harper continues to be the defensive stalwart for Liberty despite the score. Lubin going right back at him. Harper standing his ground. He's had a really nice game, J.J. Harper.
He's battled on both ends of the floor. I mean, he plays bigger than his size. He's listed at 6'5". He probably plays as if he's 6'8", 6'9". He'll defend 1 through 5 on the floor, and he's had a solid performance on both ends. Liberty has struggled tonight, but he has not.
Feed to Lubin. Stay with NC State on the baseline. Got wholesale changes coming in for both teams. Harper will take a seat on the bench. Around the ACC, some notable results last weekend. Notre Dame beating TCU in overtime. Duke, 6-point winners over Michigan State. Louisville taking down Indiana. And SMU an overtime win against Texas A&M.
These are all quality wins by the ACC, and they play really well in the ACC-SEC challenge, and they continue to play well. And I think this league, I think no one will argue that Duke and Louisville looks like the top 2 teams. After that, I think it's wide open. Virginia has looked great.
Yeah.
NC State has shown you what they're capable of. Wake's had moments. Miami looks really good. Notre Dame, Clemson. There's a lot to be excited about ACC basketball as we return here. NC State running away.
We were talking about the ACC before the break. Let's continue the conversation. Got 8 teams in the top 50 of the net rankings right now. You see the ACC SEC Challenge recap. 9-7, but ACC won 6 of 9 games on day 1. And then obviously Cameron Boozer, what he's been able to do. 3-time ACC Player of the Week for the Dukies.
Yeah, he's not only looking like the Rookie of the Year, he's looking like the Player of the Year so far here early in the year.
So the teams in the net top 50. Duke, Louisville, North Carolina, Virginia, Miami, Clemson, SMU, and NC State. I think right now maybe the public perception of the conference is a little bit delayed, catching up to where the conference is compared to last year. I think some people still are, maybe not paying as much attention and still think, oh, ACC, maybe a couple good teams. They didn't really have a good year last year. This is a deep ACC conference this year.
They needed to prove it, and they did. And I didn't mention Carolina early because I think Carolina, when Seth Trimble comes back, has a chance to be in that conversation with Duke and Louisville, and they're playing really good basketball, and they have as skilled and talented of a freshman as there is in college basketball. We talked about Cam Boozer, but Caleb Wilson has been equally as impressive.
Claudia Copeland, a couple steals in the game. The referee's not sure who last touched it.
Claudia Copeland has quick hands. I mean, he can steal hubcaps off a moving car. I mean, he's just active hands and all over the place. And
he's working on potentially a triple-double. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Abel missing with the left. Sonia, I should say. Second chance not there. Eric Rothman, Randolph Childress. Midway through the second half here at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh. Left-hand finish by Ryan Jones Jr. Transferred over from Virginia Tech. Played in only 5 games last year. Getting his first bucket here tonight with Liberty.
Good chance just to put guys out there and see how they respond. Because the bench production is one thing Liberty needs and they've been looking for. They got all their starters averaging double figures, but they get ready for Conference USA. Jones is a part of that bench that's continuing to evolve and to grow, and you need good minutes out of these guys.
Yeah, they average just 18 bench points per game. That is the bottom tier of Division I.
It puts a lot of pressure on your guys, your starters, and doesn't allow room for off games, which is inevitable to happen, and you don't want them all to have off games like this.
Claudia Copeland gives a kiss to the fans as they were counting down the shot clock when he hit that three.
Confidence and self-belief is an amazing thing. Because anyone in the ACC that watched him in Syracuse did not believe he was capable of doing this. We knew he was a good defender. We knew he was a versatile defender. We knew he could talk. But what he's doing offensively and the efficiency in which he's doing so here, just walking into a three, he's shooting that with so much confidence, and he should when you're shooting over 50% from three.
11 points as Copeland heads to the bench. Matt Abel called for his first personal. And Brett Decker Jr. Obviously not the game he wanted tonight, but his season as a sophomore, played 27 games last year, averaged just 4 points per game, and now a year later has morphed into the best three-point shooter in the country, averaging 20 points per game and shooting nearly 60% from three.
Yeah, I told Richie McKay, good luck keeping him around.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the unfortunate reality of college basketball these days is you got a guy like that in a program like Liberty. And Coach McKay told us, he said he had a great game earlier on this year, and all of a sudden he's getting texts and DMs and messages from agents, coaches all over the country. Unforced error.
That's just the type of night it's been, but Decker made the right pass. And that's what he did better than I thought he was until I watched him on film. And you knew he could shoot it. You heard about his reputation of a shooter, but he puts it on the floor better than creates better than people give him credit for. That's why I think his upside so high. And if you're playing for Bob Richie McKay, you've got to be a defender. And that's just what he requires you to do.
5 on the shot clock as Arsenault was tripped up. And at the other end of the floor, RC, that was the 13th turnover on Liberty. Liberty is third in the country in terms of fewest turnovers per game, averaging just 8.5 turnovers per game this season. So this is very uncharacteristic for them.
It is, and for what NC State, now I want to look. You got all bench guys in the game now. I want to see if these guys can keep the intensity up. Continue to pressure defensively.
Jerry Dang missing the three. Well, I think Coach Wade wants to see that as well. Decker off the mark. In the opening 9 minutes of the game against UNC Asheville, he played 11 players. So, Will Wade, obviously we talked about his frustrations with his team's intensity, but he doesn't care if you're number 1 on the call sheet or number 11 or 12. Like, he wants to see you perform.
No, and he's challenging guys as well.
Yeah.
Like Terrence Arsenault is a guy, he's like, hey, I brought you in here to lead my team on the defensive end of the floor. And you go back to McNeese. Allen Breed was one of his best players there, and he hasn't been able to crack consistent minutes in the rotation here. But he's trusted. And Dang here with so much ability and talent himself.
Dang, a little awkward drive, kind of looking like a baby deer going into the lane there. As it was blocked out of bounds. 71-29, NC State on top, under 8 minutes to go. College Cup time for the football fanatics out there. NC State men's soccer team in their first College Cup appearance since 1990. And they are hyped up. The semifinals of the College Cup will be broadcast on ESPNU. It'll be taking place in Cary, North Carolina, Washington, and Furman on Friday. And then the Billikens of St. Louis taking on NC State.
Timeout. Liberty challenged the out-of-bounds call. They were successful. It'll be Liberty's ball. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Liberty have one challenge remaining for the game.
Well, if you're going to come to NC State and lose by 40 points, might as well use your challenge while you're here.
Right. It's a new rule.
Yeah. We'll test it out. Good explanation there. Good refereeing crew we got here tonight. Ron Groover, Lee Cassell, Tony Henderson. That was Ron Groover you heard from. He's worked some Final Fours in the past. Brett Decker hitting the three.
Smooth looking jump shot there. Every time he shoots it, it looks good, like it's going in. And hasn't gotten many to go in tonight. But Always a good rhythm, good feeling when you knock something down.
9 points now. 71-32, NC State. You mentioned NC State. They got Kansas coming to town on Saturday for Liberty. You know, they got a tough road game a couple games from now on the road against Dayton. So they've got Midway University in between now and then. So hopefully a get-right game against Midway for Liberty before they have to go on the road against a very tough Dayton team.
And very good Dayton team. And that is not an easy game. Anthony Grant has the Flyers playing good basketball. They've had a tough schedule as well.
Yeah.
He's scheduled really well in an A-10 that I think is the bid league right now. That it's a multi-bid league with the quality of teams that the A-10 has.
And Coach Richie McKay, he's got to be frustrated here, but you know, he schedules hard too.
Yes.
And
he can get games.
Well,
you got to realize that this isn't. We joked about it. Even Will Wade, who has played him at every stop from VCU to McNeese, he's played him everywhere. He's been LSU and now here. Travel there by Abel, and it's a good call.
Will Wade might get a technical. Despite being on top by nearly 40 points, he's not thrilled with the last few calls that have gone against NC State. Really going after Tony Henderson. Decker in the corner on the skip pass. Dang the rebound. You're right. I mean, and Liberty beat McNeese last year. The first time Richie McKay defeated Will Wade. As you mentioned, they played pretty much everywhere that Wade has gone.
Well, Richie knows he can get a game. Most big high major programs won't play him. He knows Will Wade will give him a game. And Will said if he knew his team was going to struggle the way they were, he wouldn't have scheduled this game, but he's got to like the outcome. Look at that. I mean, that's credit to Will Wade, and it's a credit to Richie McKay for the program that he's built there.
It's getting harder and harder, not only for programs like Liberty to get power conference opponents, but it's also the kind of the tipping of the scales of the NIL. It's getting harder to win these games.
And it's harder to win them, and it's harder to have retention and get players. And he's had really good players. I mean, he has players that are on NBA rosters, and he's keeping them there. And he has a faith-based program, and it's got to be more than basketball if you want to go to Liberty. It's bigger than basketball, and credit to these young men for sticking around and developing and learning from such a great leader.
Yeah, no doubt. Colin Porter, 4th year. Matheny, his 3rd year. Zach Cleveland, his 4th year. So they know what they're signing up for. They really love the university. It's a university that's investing in athletics as well. Beautiful facilities, and they care about building a winner.
Unbelievable facilities for that level of basketball. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Musa Sanye, his first bucket.
Starters are on the bench celebrating, and with these bench guys, you want to prove to Coach Wade that you deserve more playing time as well. You're playing for minutes right now. Great job there. Slips out of the ball screen, and when you're a guard coming over, that's the type of defense I would give. A little drive-by swipe. That's the punishment you make for being late. Got to get there early. And that's what Liberty does to defenses a lot of times. When you got shooters on the weak side, they're hugged up, not able to help.
And Liberty in the bonus now. Josh Smith spent 4 years at Stetson and was a medical redshirt last year. It's been pretty quiet so far in the early season, but did kind of break out in Liberty's last game against Coppin State when he had 16 points and 7 rebounds.
Coming off an ACL, he's shaking the rust off.
They're also missing what Coach McKay called their X-Factor player, Isaiah Eamon, the redshirt junior from Germany, who was supposed to come back from injury and re-aggravated and continues to have knee problems, which he's had through most of his career. It doesn't sound like he's coming back anytime soon.
No, and that's why it's so important for Josh Smith to kind of pick up that slack at 6'9". He brings a level of physicality that they're going to need once they get into Conference USA play. And coming off an ACL injury, and it takes time. I mean, there's a mental hurdle, and I think it's always difficult. I was fortunate enough when I came off an injury that my year was in June. So I got out of my brace. You never see a picture of me playing in a brace, and that was massive because it's really difficult no matter what the sport is to come in and play during games because you don't get a chance to control the movements anymore. Now you have to defend or move, and it's a reactionary, which is so different than what you do in your rehab.
Well, how much of it is mental, too?
Oh, it is mental. You're cleared. The doctors won't clear you until you're physically ready. And you don't have time to do, because you're in your rehab, you start bracing yourself and understanding when you're cutting, and then now when you get out here playing, you're just reacting.
Freshman Matt Abel with 11 points after the free throw. Good active hands again. Scotty Ibube, senior, made his first start of the season in NC State's last game. This is his first appearance here tonight. Started that game in favor of Paul McNeil Jr. Only played 2 minutes. It was more of a message to McNeil Jr. than anything else.
Ibube knows when he comes in. He knows what he is, and he knows how he's supposed to play. He's going to rim run and be physical, set screens, roll hard. He doesn't have a big role on his team, but he knows his role, and he does it well. And that was Will Wade's way of rewarding him for his effort.
Able to drive, and he gets fouled. 4:33 to go on the clock. And Matt Abel, a guy, we talked about obviously being a high recruit, top 25 in the ESPN 100 rankings. And sometimes programs and coaches just know that this is a guy, a body type, a skill set who's going to come in and be an instant contributor. And he has. And granted, it's through 6 weeks of the season, and he's already had his ups and downs in terms of consistency. But he seems like a very poised young man in terms of how he has handled a pretty big role on this team so far this year.
He's a freshman that's going to be, come February, he's going to mature not just physically, but mentally, and be, I think, a potential double-digit scorer by the time they get in the ACC play. Because Will Wade lets him go. He's aggressive. I mean, every time he touches it, he's looking to score, and he has the skill set and the game to back it up.
13 points now for Matt Abel as Decker started to find a rhythm. Just going to be too little, too late, as Decker, the second player for Liberty in double-figure scoring with 12. Arsenault backing down Decker. Foul called.
One thing you got to learn how to do for Richie McCain is you got to guard your yard. Don't look for help. Stay in front of the basketball, be physical. Defend it without fouling. And Decker's battled here tonight, but he's found himself against some bigger defenders here.
Fans behind us chanting, "We want Snell," which is for Jordan Snell, wearing number 0. We'll see if he comes into the game. The women's basketball matchup on Sunday afternoon right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. India Navarre leads number 12 North Carolina's balanced attack when they host Laura Siegler. And number 22 Louisville. It's at 4 Eastern at Carmichael Arena. Whistle on the free throw. And we'll do it again on the lane violation.
I think also to add to how impressive this performance is for NC State. And again, I am shocked. And I think there's a lot of people out there that'll turn this game on and be surprised to see NC State up by 40. And I would include the coaches in it. I don't think either coach expected a 40-point difference in this game. But when you're at this time of the year, your student body's going in finals, and your student body's going home, and you don't get the normal crowd support that you usually get, and sometimes you got to create your own energy, create your own support, and NC State's done that.
It's definitely been the upside down world for Liberty here in this game. Every single statistical category that they've done well this year has gone poorly in this game. From shooting to turnovers to rebounds, just nothing working for Liberty. 79-38, NC State on top.
The check cleared.
They had a plan, and they executed it from the jump. It was tied 6-6 in the first couple of minutes, and ever since then, NC State has taken off like a rocket ship, and they're on top 79-38.
Safe to say they got their lick back.
Yeah.
I mean, they had taken some shots, losing 3 of their last 5 games, and really struggling on the defensive end of the floor. And I mean, dominant performance here, and they're going to need it because next up, the Kansas Jayhawks,
and no easy feat.
No, not at all.
Andrew Carter on the turnover. NC State, they've got 8 players with 6 or more points. They've turned Liberty over 16 times, make it 17 times in this game when Liberty was averaging just over 8 turnovers a game coming into this one. Fans got their wish during the timeout as Jordan Snell checked into the game, as well as Colt Langdon, the redshirt freshman, who's got the ball now. Lefty little fadeaway.
Thought he had a shot early and he turned it down. He's just getting into the game, and you'll see the guys on the bench telling them next time, let it go. Shot faking for him. There it is. You see, I tell him, let it go.
Quadir Copeland, man. He is entertaining to watch, both on and off the court. It's a cheerleader over there on the bench.
Such a positive guy. It's, well, Way says he's never stopped talking, and you don't mind it because most of it's positive. It's always encouraging guys and motivating his teammates. And you see, he's the life of the party. He enjoys playing the game, and he's one of those guys you won't talk about it, but his size and his skill set and what he's doing offensively now, and there's a bright future. There's a chance to earn a lot of money playing this game. I mean, the next level is always looking for 3-and-D guys.
Yeah.
You're talking about a young man who's a switchable defender, a willing defender, a communicator, and shooting over 50% from 3.
He's lanky, he's long, 6'6", 220 with those long arms. Is a mismatch on the outside. You can see why, you know, Syracuse recruited him, and you talked about it a little bit earlier, kind of a defensive-minded recruit, but that a lot of has to do with the body type. It just kind of lends itself to that, and really blossoming on the offensive end the last couple of years.
Sometimes you just got to find the right fit, and this fit for him was put him at point guard. If he's playing point guard, no one ever thought that was part of his game. Now he's playing the position as well as anybody at his size. I mean, he's talking about he's a really big point guard. He's not your prototypical traditional point guard in that sense, but he's really heady, high IQ, and an unselfish player.
11 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Quadir Copeland's line tonight.
What it does for NC State is it takes the pressure off, whether it's
Jordan Snell. The fans were chanting for him. He comes in and drains the 3, and who's happier than Quadir Copeland?
Student body got their wish. They had been calling for him to get in the game, and he comes in at no hesitation and lines one up from behind the 3-point line.
And now diving on the floor.
Can't go under the screen on me. That you know. Shoots it from P. Look at the bench. So one thing I was concerned about, that, you know, worrying about the net and winning games by a certain number, that we wouldn't see a lot of walk-ons in games. You know, it's still great that programs and coaches still do that regardless of the score.
Xander Yates, the three. Recently engaged, his fiancee Lexi. Cross-court pass. Snell to Langdon. Airmailed that one right into the arms of Jerry Dang. Ibube blocked from behind. Under a minute to go.
Under a minute.
Credit to a lot of the student section that stuck around this entire game. Baseline cut. Tor Sorensen, freshman from Virginia. So NC State will take some momentum into their game against Kansas on Saturday.
Should be a fun game. Great matchup.
Jerry Dang. Dang, Jerry.
That's what he does at his size. 6'9" transfer from Florida State.
Final 10 seconds. NC State's most complete performance of the season. A 40-point win at home against the projected top team in Conference USA.
You come in struggling and you challenge the team. They answered that challenge here tonight. Defensively, all over Liberty, never gave them a chance. Their active deflections offensively, this NC State team could score with anyone.
Fewest points that the Wolfpack have allowed in a game since November of 2014. Everything that could go right did, as NC State gets their 7th win in their 10th game of the year. Full throttle performance. Abel, Holloman, Copeland, and Lubin all in double figures for the Wolfpack. For Randolph Childress, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long from Raleigh. We'll see you next time right here on the ACC Network.